Welcome everyone to the London City Council meeting. Please stand and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance, followed by a moment of silent reflection. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Clerk, could you please take the roll call?
Mrs. Russell?
Present.
Mr. Peters?
Here.
Mr. Robinson? Here. Mr. Hayes?
Present.
Mr. Hitt?
Here.
Mrs. Blazer?
Here.
Mr. Smith?
Here.
Okay. Everyone had a chance to take a look at the minutes from our last meeting. Any discussion on that? All in favor of approving those minutes, say aye.
Aye.
All right, moving on to communications and announcements. We do not have any. No public hearings this evening. On to audience concerns. This evening, we have with us Quentin Kieran and Fred Heckel. I ask you to please come to the podium and bring your presentation. And just state your name and your address, please.
Yeah, I'm Fred Heckel. I'm the Executive Director over at Bluebird Retirement at 2260 State Route 56 Southwest. And this is Quentin.
My name is Quentin Kieran. I'm on 6530 Greg Mill Road, and I'm here tonight as the operator for the proposed restaurant.
And so what we have here are some drawings that you can take a look at showing the clubhouse for the independent living that we're looking at building directly behind the existing Bluebird facility there. There's also some drawings of the restaurant that would be right along Highway 56 up front. As you go out, kind of just if you went down the driveway by Bluebird, the restaurant would be immediately to your left. And then again, the independent living facility would be pretty much straight back behind the existing Bluebird. If you look here, there's plans that allows the church there or Crossroads to be able to expand. There's, in addition to that, there is, we have active living condos that we'd be looking at building around the independent living facility as well. So it's a combination of the independent living and the active living condos. In the independent living, we have 2 phases planned. The first one would have 34 apartments. It's a nice clubhouse with a pool. So everything should be very high quality, high end, and done very well. And Quentin, you want to talk a little bit about the restaurant, or?
Yeah, so the kind of the elephant in the room is you'd probably think that you're crazy if you're trying to build a restaurant in this day or this time exactly. And me and Paul kind of agree with that, but we think it's probably the best time ever to do so. And we firmly believe that the community does need a restaurant like this that would cater to kind of an upscale or a entertaining kind of a dining environment. We believe that the community would support something like that, and we're willing to support it to get it off the ground. So the vision is kind of, you walk through the mouth of the restaurant, you've got kind of a couple of options. You've got a quieter, more intimate, upscale kind of a dining setting. If you go this way, and if you go this way, you've got kind of more of a high tops and a little more buzz and, you know, the game on TV and different things like that. So we're trying to create an atmosphere that would be entertaining and cater to kind of a couple of different audiences depending on how you wanted to take part in that atmosphere. But we will have some room for some bigger parties, say a community organization or a business or you know, a birthday party or a small reception, something like that. We do have the ability to kind of move some walls and handle larger groups as well, which I think is dire need of the community also.
Would you like me to bring these up?
Oh, please.
Yes. Well, we thank you, definitely thank you for bringing this information out to us tonight. We have talked about this in one of our committees, our Public Service Committee. And we know that along with the restaurant, there will be further discussion that we'll need to bring because we want to make sure that our city here is able to accommodate everything that's going to need to happen in order to get everything running the way that it should run, nice and smoothly. Similar to what we've done before, we've had to, just put our axe to the grind and make things happen similarly with sign ordinances, things like that weren't conducive to bringing business. So we want to make sure that we do everything that we can, put our best foot forward to make sure that we can accommodate this. It looks like a really great plan, and I've talked to Paul about it some, and I'm glad that you guys are here tonight to present this to us. Thank you. You guys can pass.
Do you have a restaurant in mind, or that's just the concept?
All right, do we have any questions? Or,
I was just asking if
Or
you have
not
a
yet.
restaurant, or is it a concept right now, you don't have
Let's
the
take a look
restaurant
at
yet?
okay,
What restaurant is gonna be?
so you want them to stay and,
So it'll be,
yeah,
it'll be an independent, it's not a franchise.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
right.
When do you guys plan to start breaking ground?
I guess there's a lot that goes on before that.
Okay.
And Paul's probably the person to answer that question. I do know that ideally, we would like to be hosting guests by the holidays, even before that in the fall. We can iron out some kinks before. Yeah, so I did speak to Paul today. You guys all got my email, correct? So he did say that he wants to put a shovel in the ground as early as April. So as early as April, and yeah, I know you guys will laugh at that, but that's what he wants because like they said, they're trying to get it up and running before the winter holiday season so they can start bringing some money in with banquets and things like that that people put on that time of year. So, yeah, he's got an aggressive timeline for it. And the restaurant will be the first portion of this, and then he'll start moving on to the other sections.
So the restaurant is the first stage?
Yes, yep.
And I know there's been a lot of talk here in London where we've always mentioned that we wish we had a sit-down restaurant. I've heard it for years and years and years, but we haven't, we've had a couple of attempts and, but we haven't really had anyone that is, very, very serious about making this happen. And I'm really glad to hear that we do have this chance to have a nice sit-down restaurant here in our town.
Should be exciting.
If we could, I'd like to have these two gentlemen stay in here. Later on, I'm sure there's going to be some questions, so if they could stay in, I'd appreciate it.
You bet.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, on to our committee reports. I'm not sure if we have. Mr. Smith.
Here. So the water department right now, they're working on learning the technology with the cellular water meters. Just to give everyone a heads up, this is great technology. It's going to do great things. The one thing that I am worried about is meters do, when they read, they do not read faster, they read slower. And so I know that when we start putting new meters on everything, we are going to have some people, their water usage is going to go up. If they've got a meter that's 20 years old and then they get a new meter, so right now, we're losing money as a city, the water department is, because like I said, they slow down as they go forward. But other than that, there's great technology with this, saving man hours. We spend a lot of money just sending someone to walk around and collect meter readings. This will have things like, if your house, your water usage shoots up, they can notify the homeowner and say, hey, we think you may have a leak somewhere. Your water usage is shooting up, which I think will go great with the calling system that the city's getting ready to have, where we can call and notify people very quickly. The water department's also looking at purchasing 2 vans. I don't think they'll have to bring it to us. I think it's under their amount. Is that correct? Yeah. So they won't have to bring it to us, but they definitely need them. I got in a F-150, I think it was last year, or even 2 years ago, and it was one of the worst running vehicles I've ever been in. It was hilarious. It was actually comical, so I can't believe they didn't replace it already. The wastewater department, they've been having some things have been breaking. They've been making repairs as quickly as possible. So far, everything's running good. They are looking at purchasing a crane truck to be able to help them, and then replacing the pumps, and then I think they may look into, we kind of talked about in the BPU meeting, I don't know how much they'll look into it, but a backup pump system for like our pumps that are in town, that if they go down, or even like a generator type system, if we lost everything. So they're looking into that. Jerry's doing a really good job with that, getting those things put through. And then as far as sanitation goes, the next person that is hired, which I'm very excited about, will work Tuesday through Saturday. And so what that'll allow is for using the city dump on Saturdays. And so Les has already had a couple interviews. I think that happened this week or last week. I haven't heard if they've actually hired someone yet, but I know that he did have some interviews. So that's all we're waiting on.
Thank you. Mrs. Blazer, do you have anything?
No, it looked like they covered everything last meeting.
Okay. And Mr. Hill?
Yeah, the public safety meeting is March 9th. That's next Tuesday, 6 p.m. in the meeting room next door.
Okay. Mr. Hayes?
Attended the city properties meeting. We discussed a lot of issues. I don't have the list in front of me. We discussed traffic lights. We discussed a new truck for the street department, a couple other things. And I apologize, I don't have it with me, but good meeting. I think we made some headway there, so. Yeah.
All right, thank you. Mr. Robinson?
I have nothing at this time.
All right, Mr. Peters?
Just let everybody know, public service meeting will be next Wednesday, March 10th at 1 o'clock.
All right. Mrs. Russell?
I have nothing, but the finance meeting will be March the 8th in the council conference room over there
All right.
at 6 o'clock.
Okay, thank you. On to city official reports.
Okay, can you hear me? Fantastic. All right, so just to touch on something Anthony said, he had interviews today. So
Oh, today?
And
Okay.
one of them was kind of late, so we're just going to get that information tomorrow. But I'm glad you brought that up, because that's a great point, that whoever gets hired in will work Tuesday to Saturday, which one of the biggest complaints that we've had since we came in was it's tough for people to come drop stuff off, yard waste and things like that. So we'll be able to stay open on Saturday so people can come drop off their loads or their yard waste. And it'll also give us time to maintenance the trucks more, right? So when these guys get in and they're working overtime, it's tough to make sure we have the trucks cleaned and they're all taken care of. So this will definitely take care of our new investments of the new trucks. And just to let you guys know, they wanted me to thank all you guys, because during that weather, having those new trucks really sped things up, as well as, we probably would have had to cancel trash pickup one day, because when it gets too cold, the old way, jumping off the back of the truck, you gotta keep them guys safe. So they wanted me to thank you guys for that. The Historic District Revitalization Committee did have a Zoom meeting with Heritage Ohio, and that downtown assessment has been completed. There is a lot of information that they did on our assessment. We will be having a follow-up meeting with them, another one coming up next month, and start releasing some of this stuff. I'm still going through all of it because there's so much there. So a lot of statistics, a lot of information about our downtown, a lot of information on how to make your downtown more vital. So great study, completed, and after the next meeting, I think hopefully I can get one of them to come in and do a presentation for you guys. The City Properties Committee, as well as the Park and Recreation Commission, has been looking at rental fees and seeing if we're charging enough for things like the park, to rent the park out. And also the City Properties Committee is going to have to start coming up with what it would cost to rent this room out, because because as you guys can see, this is a fantastic room now. It'd be great for a wedding, it'd be great for a conference, things like that with all the technology we have. So we got to make sure that we have all that set up in place, so hopefully when all the COVID restrictions are gone, we can start renting this place out and making sure that we're getting the right amount of money for all the other places that we currently rent out. So the City One Call, talked about the City One Call a little bit. So that paper went out this month in your bill. So we're asking people that they fill out that information. It's good because once we can get all this information, if there is something that happens, say, on your road and there is a water main break, while those guys are getting out and trying to knock on doors and tell you there's a boil alert, we can text, call, email those people right away and say, hey, boil alert until this said time, right? We can tell people that live on the snow routes, snow emergency routes, hey, there's a big snow coming tonight, make sure you get your cars off the road. This will be used for many different things, and it's just another step in the right direction with technology and getting into the 21st century. As you guys know, the Ohio Department of Health did release some orders at 12:01 p.m. on March 2nd. So, you know, now that they're permitting indoor sports venues to be at 25% of fixed seating, outdoor venues, sports venues, 30% of fixed seating, entertainment venues, also 25% of fixed, and then the outdoors also 30%. Wedding receptions, funeral repasts, proms, and other events. It's no longer the 300 rule, so if you have a big enough space and you can adhere to all the other guidelines that are in place, you can go over 300 people right now. Let's see, and then DeWine came out today and said that right now we're reporting a little bit over 100 cases per 100,000. And every 2 weeks they check that, or not every 2 weeks, but they kind of go in 2-week intervals. And he said if we can get down to 50 or less cases per 100,000 for a 2-week span, that all the health orders will be dropped. So I don't know. I look at the dashboard every day. I don't know if you guys get on the coronavirus state website, but if you watch it, they just kind of show all the graphs of everything, the hospitalization, the cases, the deaths, and it was, you know, rising, and then we got into November and December, and it really peaked, and now we're on a quick downhill slide. So that's good news, because I know we want to have summer, right? So, but we're also waiting for him to drop information on some of the other outdoor events, like fairs and festivals and things of that nature. They're working on that. Hopefully we can get that soon, because I know, for one, I'd love to have the Ribbon Jazz Fest back and have some of these outdoor events back. We can come together as a community and have a good time. So just keep doing the right thing so we can keep dropping that down, right? Talking about the restaurant, one issue we have in this city bringing in restaurants is the liquor licenses. And I spoke to someone at the State Liquor Board, and you get one of each D-class license, one per 2,000 people, right? So we have 10,000 people in this town, so we don't get a lot. So the big one is we need more D5s. So I asked how we could petition to get more in this and that, and there's really no way to do it. So I've been encouraging not only this project that's in front of us tonight, but I have another project that's looking to maybe do something downtown to start Trexing in licenses. And we've done that before, right? We did that with London 101 as well as the billiards parlor. And they Trexed them in, and I said, look, City Council is on board to get things like this, right? These restaurants, these nice places to sit down and have a drink, maybe watch a game, or just have a nice restaurant, and they're going to be willing to bring in those licenses and pass that legislation to bring those in. But right now, Trexing in is the one hurdle option that I've been telling them. There's other options with many hurdles. This is the one hurdle option, because I know you guys are all on board with the same thing to kind of Trex these in. I did want to talk about, I boasted a lot about the street department and all the great work they did throughout the storms and the cold weather and all that. And I left city council that night and I said, man, it's not just them, right? We had a lot of departments, and Rich does a great job thanking all the departments. But you got the police out there on those terrible roads, and fire and EMS on the terrible roads, and they're out there keeping us safe and saving people and doing things like that. As well as the water guys are out there trying to fix leaks and 4 feet of snow when it's all pushed up on the curb, and just every department, the trash department that I talked about. So thanks to all the city departments for all they did. And, even the people in this building, we have a couple people that drive from Springfield. And we were on a level 2, and here they were, making sure that they were here. So just thanks to all the departments through all this. And hopefully this isn't a full spring, and we can get more of that 50, 60-degree weather, and one day hit that 81 degrees and perfect 81-degree weather. So with that, I'll go on to the MOLO Fun Fact, which is the number 35. And that is the number of years that our wonderful clerk, Arlene Duffy, has worked for the city of London. I'm not going to say how old I was 35 years ago, Arlene, but Arlene's been with us for a long time through a lot of city council presidents. And as you guys know, when city council presidents come in, at any point, they can say, no, I'm going to go with somebody else. And for all these city council presidents to say, no, I want to keep Arlene, it just shows a lot to what she's done for the city. And now so I want to thank her for all that. And I know she's probably going to do a little bit of traveling and enjoy herself a little bit here. So best of luck and all that. I would say best of luck in what you do next, but it'll probably just be enjoying yourself, right?
Yes.
So Arlene, we appreciate everything you do and all the time that you've spent with the city. And my time as city council president, you were always a big help to me. So I just want to thank you for all that.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So,
Thank
yes, so Arlene's leaving us, and it'll be a sad day, but, maybe we can all spring for some margaritas for you, right? So-
Arlene, it must have been tough for you when you were 4 years old to start this job.
Yeah.
It was very tough.
That's right, that's right. To be a clerk at 4 was very tough for her.
Mom
That's
pushed
right.
me out of the house.
Great point, Carla. All right, so that's all I have. Does anyone have anything for me? Well, I appreciate you guys, and thank you for your time.
Okay, on to old business. Ready for the third reading? Ordinance 11121, a motion to read by title or number.
So moved.
Second.
All right, clerk, please read the ordinance.
Ordinance 11121, sponsored by Andrew Hitt, an ordinance vacating an alley.
Yeah, this is the alley behind Dwyer's on South Main Street, between 139 South Main Street and 149 South Main Street. It's been signed off by abutting properties, and the utilities have signed off as well. Ohio Edison has asked to reserve the rights to the easement to service electric needs. So next council meeting would be a public hearing
Okay.
for this and the following alley vacation.
Okay, any further discussion? All right, on to ordinance 11221, motion to read by title or number.
So move.
Second.
Clerk, please read the ordinance.
Ordinance 11221, sponsored by Andrew Hitt, an ordinance vacating an alley.
This is alley runs beside the Methodist Church across from the courthouse, runs between Union and South Main. All the property owners or abutting property owners have signed off, and utilities have signed off. The water department has asked to reserve their easement rights. Wastewater has no objection. And Ohio Edison has asked to reserve easement rights for that alley.
Okay, any further discussion? Okay, on to ordinance 11321, a motion to read by title or number.
So move.
Second.
Second, all right, clerk, please read the ordinance.
Ordinance 11321, sponsored by Andrew Hitt, an ordinance vacating an alley.
So this, the alley we just talked about, this alley runs perpendicular from that alley to Fourth Street along beside the Methodist Church as well. All the utilities have signed off on this as well, or property owners have signed off also. Water Department had no objections. Wastewater had no objections. And Ohio Edison has requested easement rights to remain.
Okay. Any further questions? All right, ordinance 11421, motion to read by title or number.
So move.
Second.
All right, second, clerk, please read the ordinance.
Ordinance 11421, sponsored by Andrew Hitt, an ordinance vacating an alley.
So this runs parallel to Virginia Avenue, between Columbia and Chandler, over towards the swimming pool area, or the park over there. And all the abutting property owners have signed off. The water department has no objections to vacating that. The wastewater had no objections. I believe Bill said the street department wanted to have easements to that, easement rights. And then Ohio Edison also wants to reserve easement rights to that area as well.
All right. Any further discussion? All right, on to our new business, Resolution 12921, a motion to read by title or number.
So moved.
Second.
All right, clerk, please read the resolution.
Resolution 12921, sponsored by Josh Peters, a resolution amending Resolution 12421.
There was an error in Resolution 124-21, and I'm going to let Kenna kind of explain that error.
The error is in section 2 on 12421. It says from Fund 101 to, I believe the old one said 241, and it actually needs to go to Fund 404.
Okay.
So it's just
Okay.
correcting a typo.
So all the
Okay.
numbers are correct.
Yes.
Yep.
What is 404, do you know?
It's for this is for it's the skid steer through the county.
Oh, Panda Skids.
Skid steer.
It is ours now. We own
Yes.
it.
Right, no.
That's why I voted no.
All right,
Go
go ahead.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear. What is Fund 404?
I don't have, I believe I don't have it with me, unfortunately. What? I know, and I don't have my report with me either.
Was that what he's working on as we were talking about?
It's the bill that'll pay off the
It is.
skidster.
I don't know the title of the actual
Pay off the what?
The,
It's through the
Skid
county.
steer.
It's-
Oh.
yeah,
Skid steer.
Yeah, okay,
Yeah.
I remember now.
yeah, yeah.
It's through the county. I just don't know the exact
Okay.
fund that it comes
The exact title of it?
And there was just the typing error in the,
from. Correct.
the number. Okay.
All right.
Any other questions? If not, I move to suspend.
Second.
Second, all right, clerk, please take the roll call for suspension.
Peters,
Yes.
Robinson,
Yes.
Hayes,
Yes.
Hitt,
Yes.
Blazer,
Yes.
Smith,
Yes.
Russell.
Yes.
Okay, and a motion to adopt.
So moved.
Second.
All right, clerk, please take the roll call for adoption.
Robinson,
Yes.
Hayes,
Yes.
Hitt,
Yes.
Blazer,
Yes.
Smith,
Yes.
Russell,
Yes.
Peters.
Yes.
All right, motion carries. On to ordinance 13021, a motion to read by title or number.
So move.
Second.
All right, clerk, please read the ordinance.
Ordinance 13021, sponsored by Rich Hayes, an ordinance approving and authorizing the execution and delivery of a community reinvestment area agreement and declaring an emergency.
On June 20th, 2019, we, the City Council of London, by ordinance 137-19, established the City of London Community Reinvestment Area, or better known as the CRA, to encourage economic development in our city. I believe we have before us tonight, I believe we have an extraordinary opportunity to really get moving on our community reinvestment area. We have a developer, Mr. Paul Gross, and we have his spokesman are here with us tonight. Mr. Gross is a proven businessman, man of his word, honorable man, I may say, who is ready to start developing as soon as possible, a very large development. Most of you have read through it. Everything has been approved. It's come through the Board of Education. They have approved everything. And basically, I'd like to just touch on a few things that's in this, if I could, if time permits. I can get to it here. Okay. I just want to read a few of these things. The owner shall construct a new 70,000 square foot independent living apartment facility with clubhouse, approximately 66 villa-style condominiums, and a 7,200 square foot restaurant and banquet center at vacant parcel 3100662000 London, Ohio. You have all seen the drawings here tonight. The project, including the new infrastructure, will involve a total investment by property owner of at least, and I want you all to get this, $18 million. $18 million. The project will begin May 2021, and I think it'll start sooner than that. And all acquisition, construction, and installation will be completed by December of 2023. The owner shall create within a time period not exceeding 60 months after the commencement of construction of the aforesaid facilities, the equivalent of 20 full-time employees. The total payroll for the 20 full-time equivalent employees will be $600,000. Starting in the first quarter of calendar year 2022, the owner will follow the schedule for hiring as follows. And then it's laid out year 1, year 2, year 3, year 4, year 5, and at the end of total after 5 years, there'll be 20 full-time employees. As I mentioned earlier, I think this is a tremendous asset coming to our city, and I think we need to get on it. I think we need to move on it. Everything has been approved. The school board's approved their part of it, and I just think it's a fantastic opportunity for the city. I'd like for Fred and his friend with him, if you all have any questions, feel free to ask them. They know more about this than I do.
Can I add just one thing?
Yes.
Rich keeps speaking about the school, so you guys understand this, but the people at home that's watching this may not. When these things come through, there's a process, and the first process is it has to go through the school. The school, if the school said no, it never even gets to us, right? So that's why Rich was talking about, the school's already passed it, and at their last meeting, they were the first step of passing this CRA because it's for property tax. Then it comes to us. So I just wanted to explain that for all the people watching.
Okay, and this will be a 100% tax abatement for a 10-year period. Anybody have any questions?
Will we have to make any payments to the schools for the money they've lost or a portion of it?
I talked to the law director before I came over here, and she said that she looked up the ordinance, and the city would contribute 50% of income tax for the workers that are employed by that project, or the restaurant, or the assisted living, or whatever, 50% of that income tax would go to the schools. So the city would owe that amount annually.
Which that's actually just more money going to the school
Yeah, I
than
mean,
what they
it's a-
have now.
They don't lose.
Yeah, so they don't
so
lose,
much,
really, they gain, they just
from
gain.
income
Right.
tax.
Right.
This this property is, farmland currently, and I believe they pay about, because of the CAUV, or I believe that's what it is, they pay about $200 in property tax per year on this, because
Yeah.
it's put into this farmland.
Right.
So that's what they currently pay. The school gets like $112 a year or something, if I remember the numbers correctly. But, yeah.
Yeah, so this is going to dramatically change the taxes, even though it's a tax abatement for 10 years. That 10 years is going to go pretty quick.
Oh, yeah.
And you're looking at a facility, $18 million facility that has a potential to bring in, quite a bit more dollars. And also, the project itself has a potential to bring in other investors. Once you bring in, things like this, it does attract other investors who may be interested in also getting a part in the potential profits in that city. It shows here, I got the taxes are $198.98 for the full year for that property currently. So, it just sounds better and better. It seems like a win-win situation for everyone, for the schools, for the city, for the community, the restaurant, the housing, and the development, and the potential for more investment and development in our city, we are so looking forward to that.
And also on that, just to touch, so when they build these residential areas, yeah, people from London are definitely going to move into them, for sure. But we're also going to see people from the Columbus area coming out here to kind of retire in a way. And so we're not just getting the income tax from the restaurant, we're going to get the income tax from these people who are living there, right?
Correct.
So, just to make that clear.
So it's a win-win, sounds like a win-win.
It sounds like a win-win
And that's
situation.
when you're in the deal, you want everybody to win.
Amen, amen. Any other questions? I'd make a motion to suspend the 3 reading rule.
All right, we get a
Second.
second? All right, clerk, please take the roll call.
Hayes,
Yes.
Hitt,
Yes.
Blazer,
Yes.
Smith,
Yes.
Russell,
Yes.
Peters,
Yes.
Robinson.
Yes.
All right, and a motion to adopt.
Make a motion to adopt?
A second.
Clerk, please take the roll call.
Hitt,
Yes.
Blazer,
Yes.
Smith,
Yes.
Russell,
Yes.
Peters,
Yes.
Robinson,
Yes.
Hayes.
Abstain.
All right. Motion carries. Thank you, everyone. All right, on to round table. Mrs. Russell.
I have nothing. Just remember the finance meeting is Monday, 6 o'clock.
Mr. Peters.
I have nothing.
All right. Ms. Robinson.
Just thanks for coming out and explaining everything to us.
All right. Mr. Hayes.
Safety meeting Tuesday evening, 6 PM in the conference room. And I'm just going to reiterate what the mayor said. We love all you guys that work for us, and we appreciate everything you do for us. Police department, squads, everybody. I know this winter's been brutal, and, I got to spend it inside with some bad stuff, but I saw the guys out, and I thought, oh, my God, it's cold, and, but thank God for great employees that the city's got. We got good people here, and I applaud them. Okay, that's all I got.
Thank you. Mr. Hitt.
I'd like to thank you gentlemen for coming in and showing us the plans for the development. Looks like it's going to be really nice. So that'll be a plus for London and the elderly that live there on the grounds.
All right, thank you. Mrs. Blazer.
I'm just going to repeat what the mayor and what Rich said, that how much we appreciate what the city workers do all the time, and that especially during this weather, I've had to work out in it for EMS for let's just say a number of years. And I know how difficult it is and frustrating sometimes, so we really appreciate their hard work. And also just, I know the numbers are trending down, but we still have to remain vigilant to keep them going down. Getting the vaccinations, wearing masks when we're out in public running around, and our social distancing. I looked at the stats. COVID is going to be the third leading cause of death in the United States for last year. It's only going to be surpassed by heart disease and cancer.
All right.
I have nothing.
Okay. Again, I'd just like to also thank all of our hardworking city employees, and I'd like to thank Arlene. She's really done a great job. I always, want to give her kudos. But thank you, and I do wish the best for you in your retirement and out there in sunny Florida, just living it up and doing all that wonderful traveling. Don't forget about us.
Bring the sun up here. I got one
All right.
meeting.
Yep. And thank you to Mr. Heckel and Mr. Kieran for bringing your presentation this evening. I really appreciate that. And,
I got something.
okay,
I was notified by Debbie Sims today from Madison County EMA that somehow or another, we as a city have been overlooked for taking the NIMS training program, which is a National Incident Management System. And she sent me all of the requirements, who is supposed to take this training. And lucky you guys, you're some of the ones that get to take it along with the mayor and I and some of the safety leaders.
all right.
So I will be sending out email links to the site, and hopefully we'll get it figured out, get all the instructions to you as to how to take it. It's only 3.5 hours, so, and there's tests involved, so
Okay,
I'll get
sounds
that
good.
stuff out to you.
Open book test, right?
Yeah,
Open
it's all
internet,
online.
open internet
It's
test.
all online.
Yeah. Okay, that's all.
All
Thank you.
right, well, thank you for bringing that. And if there's nothing else, I'd like to entertain a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.